guys, I hope you guys are having an awesome evening. I'm Stacy here with Karma Rocks, and first of all, thank you for subscribing if you are a subscriber now to our YouTube channel. We are here with Karma Rocks for those of you that are new, and we're here to offer some wonderful alternatives to healing through the use of crystal therapy. And if you didn't get that from your first video, or the first video I made, this video is kind of to enlighten you a little bit more, or take you kind of a little bit further down that rabbit hole on some different alternatives to healing through the use of crystals. So jumping right in, I wanted to make just the first crystal tutorial a little bit, painless and simple and basic for anybody that might be new. So the very first thing we're going to talk about tonight is how to cure a headache, which who doesn't want to know how to cure a headache? It's one of those things that happens to all of us, right? And I would say for the most part that when it does happen, majority of people tend to want to head straight to the medicine cabinet to grab some Advil or Aleve or Tylenol or any other type of pain relieving medication. And we want to offer you guys an alternative to having to do that through the use of crystals. So the crystal of interest tonight is going to be the amethyst. And if you guys have never seen an amethyst before, oh my gosh, I don't know where to. It's probably one of the most beautiful crystals I know of, but it's beautiful, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of examples I've got here with me to give you guys some ideas of what it looks like if you don't own one. The first one I have is a crystal point, and hopefully you guys can see this. I know it's nighttime and I don't have the greatest of lighting, but this is a crystal point. It's kind of a light lavender color, so you can kind of see that up close. It's probably not the type of amethyst that I would say is common. I would say probably what most people tend to have are clusters or geodes that would look something a little bit more like this. You can kind of see all the different beautiful crystal faces there. Even just looking at the crystal is enchanting to me. But what we also focus on here at Karma Rocks is, and what we have for sale on our website is actually raw crystals. We don't actually deal with tumbled crystals because those are altered in a sense, and we typically tend to focus on just the raw crystals. They're all hand-picked and raw. So to give you an example of what that would look like, what you might find in a rock shop or something like that, we've got a couple different examples here to show you. But something along those lines. Okay. Now, for this technique, if you have one crystal, that's okay. If you have two, that's even better. I highly recommend two if you have them. In this type of case, if you get a headache, if it comes on, what I would recommend is at least allowing yourself about 15 to 20 minutes for the entire process. If you have any kind of a yoga mat, or even if you don't, a blanket or something that you can fold up and put on the floor so that you can lie down. And the reason you want to lie down is because you are going to actually be placing the crystals on your forehead. So obviously sitting up is not going to work quite so well. So if you have a place where you can lie down, what I would highly recommend is taking one of your crystals, placing that at the base of your skull and lying back on that, and then taking your second crystal and placing that as close to your point of pain as possible. Again, if you only have one crystal, I would, you know, just focus on keeping the one near your point of pain. If you're having issues, you know, on your temples, obviously that's not going to work if you're lying down. You can also place a crystal on each temple and lie down. It's probably not going to be the most comfortable choice. So again, if that's uncomfortable, I would just recommend falling back to the very first technique, which is just simply placing it somewhere on your brow. At that point, if you have any you know, background in meditation, that's great. If you don't, that's totally fine too. At this point, you just want to really focus on your breathing, and really begin to focus on relaxing your body and calming your body. And amethyst itself has a lot of calming abilities, so it's going to help you with that. But I would start, and what works for me is starting at the very bottom at your feet and sort of working your way up and just imagining that you are relaxing all of those muscles all the way up, you know, to your crown. Also pay special attention to, you know, your jaw and mouth region when you get close to that area. As you're moving your way up, notice if you are, you know, if your mouth or jaw is particularly tight. A lot of times we tend to clench our jaws or just tighten those muscles in our face, and we're not really realizing that we're doing that, and that's also contributing to your headache. So I would focus on relaxing those as much as possible. Again, at least allow 15 to 20 minutes for this process to take place and for the crystal to do its job. But afterwards, you know, when you start to feel better and start to feel some relief, I highly recommend that you cleanse a crystal. Because crystals are known to collect energy, you want to make sure you keep them cleansed. And we are going to be making some more tutorials on how to do that, but a really simple way to do that is simply by rinsing it or washing it in salt water, and specifically sea salt water. If you have sea salt, that's what I would recommend. I would also recommend distilled water or treated water versus, you know, tap water. Because obviously you want to take really good care of your crystals. They are going to be, sorry, that's my dog in the background. But you definitely want to take really good care of your crystals because they are going to be taking care of you too. So making sure that you cleanse those immediately after your treatment is what I would recommend. Okay, so that's just a really simple, basic thing that you guys can do just to get you guys started for a very common, I guess, ailment that a lot of us deal with on a regular basis. I hope that this video helped you out. I hope that it gave you some ideas on how to find some natural ways to heal yourself and find a better sense of self. If you guys have any questions or comments, please comment below. We are anxiously waiting to hear from you guys and specifically to find out how this worked for you. So we look forward to your feedback, and hopefully we'll continue to provide you guys with a lot of useful and helpful pointers in the future on ways that crystals can work for you. So I hope you guys have a fantastic evening and even better week. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe.